Three, two, one, roll the footage. Welcome back to the Strategy Sprints podcast. What if you could hang out with sprinters every day and ask them about their problems, their workflows, and their solutions? That's exactly what we do today and every day. And today we explore with the founder of Gusto Mexico how to lighten up your senses, why you are blocking your own success, what you can do to get rid of I can't do this, I'm not good enough, and how to send this well of energy into yourself. Welcome everybody, Kaylee Boyle.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for having me.
So cool to have you here, Horn. And I am so curious to explore with you how we can do all of this. But first, what are you currently creating?
So as of right now, I am currently expanding my offerings to include a little bit more wellness-focused experiences. So as of right now, I do tend to focus on more cultural immersion experiences, which means that I want people to fully immerse themselves and really understand the city that they are in, as well as the culture and the different aspects of Mexico, since I do focus on that country. So something that I am working on right now is, as I mentioned, including a little bit more wellness-focused experiences, as well as more in-depth cultural immersion programs that include various cities in one visit. So you're getting more bang for your buck.
Yeah. And how did you manage this lockdown situation? What did you do during that?
It was very difficult because you have to imagine, my whole life has been working in travel and tourism and hospitality. And so those were a lot of the industries that happened to be hit the hardest during COVID. So I actually took a lot of the time to redo my website. I did a lot of back-end information. I did SEO and little things that can improve once travel starts to come up. I did continue to advertise just a little bit. I wasn't hosting any trips or anything. But it was just really it gave me that time to really focus on little things that I wanted to either change or perfect or kind of work on within myself as well. So I really tried to utilize 2020 basically for a lot of those growth and changes.
How can we lighten up our senses?
So one thing that you can do to lighten up your senses is really just to become a little bit more aware of your surroundings. So a lot of times people are stuck in their routine. So they have their job. Traditionally in the United States, it is going to be Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And then, they might go home, they have dinner with their spouse or with their families. And then on the weekends, they do whatever they want. That's their time to kind of expand and do other things. So when we get into this habit of really getting into a routine, a lot of our senses become kind of numbed or dulled down. So you're not really tasting the coffee that you're making yourself in the morning. You're not aware of the route that you are driving to work because it's the same route every day. So the way that you can lighten up your senses is really to kind of take a step back from your routine and start to notice those little things once again. So buy a different brand of coffee and say, wow, this has an incredible flavor, or try coffee somewhere else. Another thing is you can change up your route to work. I don't think that there is only one road to get there, so changing that because you're at least getting into different surroundings and things like that. And so those are just a couple of little ways that people can start to lighten up their senses. Also, really taking the time to enjoy their food and eat their food. That's another little thing as well.
In your journey as an entrepreneur, you have found yourself becoming your own blockage and blocking your success. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I think one thing that's really important when people are, starting their own business or trying to become an CEO or trying something that's maybe going a little bit against the grain is the most important thing to remember is that you are uniquely you. So this was something that was really difficult for me to understand when I was diving into more of the travel scene, because you have to think, oh my gosh, there are so many companies that are already doing something similar than what I'm doing. You have G Adventures, for example. They really get you into that cultural immersion, but they have a little bit larger group. So it can really start to become overwhelming when you start to look at all of the other already existing companies or already things that are in the process of being made. And you can really start to have this kind of negative self-talk to yourself thinking, oh, well, why would I invest my time and my money into something like this if it's already being done by something else and somebody else? So one thing that is really important is that you have to carry this mindset with you that you are a unique person. And so you are offering something unique to the world and to your future clientele and to people that might end up buying your product. So when you have limitations, doubts, and feelings of I can't or I'm not good enough, that's how you're blocking your success. So you have to kind of constantly remind yourself that of this uniqueness in order to break out of that kind of basic way of thinking, if that makes sense. So you can say, yes, I can, there will always be a way. I'm going to reach, this group of people that maybe isn't targeted over here. So just constantly reminding yourself of those things is super important when embarking on your own business journey.
What do you do on a day when you wake up and you find yourself in limiting beliefs? I can't do that. Oh no, that's hard.
For me, movement is really important. I have done sports throughout my entire life. On the side, I do also teach yoga and Pilates. So for me, that movement is really important because if I wake up and I'm thinking, like you said, I'm having these negative doubts and I'm having these negative thoughts in my head, instead of just getting caught up in those thoughts, I will dedicate a full hour. It could be different for anybody. It could be 10 minutes, it could be an hour and a half. So I try to dedicate almost a full hour to where I am doing yoga, moving on the mat, doing a silent meditation, things like that, just to not only, I'm not trying to reverse what I'm saying, right? So I'm not being hard on myself for thinking these negative things. I'm simply just putting a pause on everything. And so when I'm moving, I'm not thinking these things. And when I'm doing my silent meditation, I'm not thinking these things. Everything is just kind of calm. And then when I am done with that time, then, I have this kind of refreshness. And so that way I can move on with my day and not be thinking about those things.
Beautiful. I find myself waking up with some anxieties, especially in this pandemic year. I have observed that more, that I wake up and I'm full of like fears and anxieties, whatever could happen. And I have to do all these things and to solve all these things. And so it's really here in my head. And it helps that I go running every day in nature because it brings me from my head into my body. And then nature does her work, and then 1 hour later it's really different, and I come back, I am refreshed, I am present, and it's really different. It's not mental, it's more present.
Yeah, I love that. That's so true.
I am so curious who you pick for the strategy award after one word from our sponsors.
Hey, if you love what you are hearing, you will love our free masterclasses. Go grab them at strategysprints.com.
When everybody's zigging, this person is zagging. But from your perspective, they're doing the right thing. You can pick only one person.
So this was actually very hard because I am lucky to have a lot of people in my life that tend to zag when everybody is zigging. But I did decide that it is going to be my stepdad. His name is Pocky, which is his nickname because he's Italian. So his name is Pasquale and has like 13,000 syllables. So his name is Pocky. He's the president and CEO of an advertising agency. And so just being in an advertising agency means that he has to go against the grain and think of things that people wouldn't think about. And so he's had some really, really incredible ads that have made people kind of think of certain things, because he does it mainly throughout Denver, Colorado, and throughout the Colorado area. So I'll take an example that he does advertising with DIA, which is the international airport. And so he was coming up with this whole conspiracy theory that there were underground tunnels. And now it's this huge thing where people are talking about it on YouTube. Whereas, normally people would think, why would you want people to think that there are underground tunnels at an airport? But it blew up into this whole thing, and DIA is on fire as an airport right now. So he did a good job.
Go Pasquale! Beautiful. And what are books that inspire you?
Okay, so my 3 books, number 1 is going to be, it's called Everything is Figure Outable. It's by Marie Folio. She has really incredible podcast episodes as well. But just the title in itself kind of explains that a little bit of what I was saying earlier. Like, if you find yourself being stuck in something, everything is figure outable. So you can always figure out a solution or a way to get things done and accomplished. The second one is probably a little bit untraditional. It's called The Universe Has Your Back, and it's by Gabby Bernstein. This one is a little bit less in regards to business, but more in regards to, your personal growth and personal aspects, and that it talks about how, the energy that we project into the universe eventually will find its way back to us. And so it's this whole concept and idea of, I can do it, and what are things that I desire, what are things that I want in life, and then how to put it out in the universe in order to receive it later. And then my third one is called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, and this is by Deepak Chopra. And this is it's a really small little pocketbook, and it gives you these 7 different laws that talk about, it's based off of Hinduism belief, but it talks about ways that you can be successful in your personal life and your business life, and little things that you can take with you during your life and your journey.
Ah, wow. I didn't know the last one. I admire Deepak Chopra, and I watch a ton of videos, but I have never read the book. So I will start with this one.
Yes, please do. Let me know what you think.
Beautiful. And so what are you excited about with your business? Where do you see your business in 3 years?
So as of right now, I just think that in 3 years, I'm going to be, continuing the success of Gusto Mexico. We definitely want to expand our offerings, expand our client base. And so in 3 years, I think I can see myself working a little bit more with more local tour guides and company throughout Mexico who are just as passionate as I am to bring cultural education to different travelers. And as of right now, because it is a smaller company, I do travel with the groups as well. So I think, eventually 3 years down the road, I'm not going with them, and the people that I work with in each of these different cities throughout Mexico are comfortable to pick them up from the airport and take them to do all of these activities and immerse them in certain things, and I don't have to be there. So that's the eventual goal and the eventual point that I wish to be at.
Beautiful. And how is the country doing right now?
Right now, it's doing really well. Over COVID, I was there. Over COVID, I lived there part-time, and it was really difficult. From March until August, I live in a little beach town. Beaches were closed, and you were pretty much only allowed to go out to do grocery shopping. So I was the person that would go for a walk every morning to get like one lime because I had to get out of the house. But it's doing a lot better since then. They still are limited. If you're talking about hotels and their capacity, they can still only have anywhere between 30 and 50% of their occupancy. So it is still more limited. They're getting the vaccine out as well. So things are definitely starting to look up. And I think one thing that's nice for travelers from the US, for example, is that they don't require, the vaccine in order to go into their country. You do need it to come back, but it just gives us a little bit more freedom. So as of right now, they're doing well with tourism.
What have you recently changed your mind about?
Oh gosh, so many things. I feel like I'm always changing my mind about something, but One thing that I recently changed my mind about is that, and it's going to sound really minute, but I was hoping to kind of offer and focus a lot of my energy on doing women's only groups. And I actually just got done hosting one as well, because I feel like with women, it's almost like a different dynamic when women are traveling, because we either like to go with a partner or with our family or with like a girlfriend or a couple of girlfriends, just in order to, I guess, feel safer. I'm not really sure what the dynamic is. I have traveled by myself all throughout my life, and I find it really invigorating. So that was the reason why I wanted to focus more on women's groups, in order for people to feel comfortable. If they have the time and they don't have a friend that wants to join them, they can come join our group and get that same kind of group sensation and that security that you get within groups, but you still get the benefit of going by yourself. So at first I was going to just do co-ed, everybody's welcome, but I think after just leading my first women's only retreat, it was really empowering and really invigorating, especially to see all of the other women kind of start to unfold as the trip went on. So I think I'd like to dedicate more of my time to women.
There is something very strong, and I would say even sacred, in these groups made of one gender only. I am in a men's group since half a year, which has started in Los Angeles, and we meet every day and every week, and we do activities together, from breathing to business together.
Yeah.
And there is something so powerful, and our wives, our girlfriends, they say, hey, you are more relaxed, you are more open, you are a better human since you are in this men's group. And so I see and I value a lot now the energy of this space. In our case, I think it's about transmitting knowledge, experience, wisdom through generations, and also inspiring each other to be a better human. And it is more safe because it's a simpler situation and a couple problems less to care about. And open yourself up more, be more vulnerable, right? And have more fun.
I love that. That's incredible.
Yeah. So powerful. Keep on it. Did I forget to ask you anything?
No, I don't think so. You've asked some really, really amazing, powerful questions.
And where can people hang out with Kaylee?
So the best way to reach me is through email. You can find that either on my website, which is gustomexico.com. That's GUSTO Mexico.com. You can also email me at info@gustomexico.com. I do have both a Facebook and an Instagram page. Those are mostly things, just for pictures and things like that. But one thing that I do recommend people do is sign up for my newsletter. I'm not the type of person that I will send multiple newsletters in a month and overwhelm people. I maybe send one every couple of months. I've even asked people ask me if I'm ever going to send one again. But those are the best ways to kind of see what's upcoming, what trips do I have planned, maybe see some pictures from a recent group trip that I have, any deals and discounts, because I always have deals and discounts happening for each one of my experiences, and those can be found on my newsletter. So you can sign up for those on my website as well.
So cool. Thank you so much, Kaylee, for sharing your journey, your wisdom with us. And please come back soon.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on here.
Avoid trying to do thousands of things that doesn't work. We have 274 templates for your business success. Reach your ambitious goals with one-on-one sprint coach. We double your revenue in